Third time's a charm. Right, y'all? All right. Welcome to Game Day with Heavy Cardboard, where we're going to talk, teach, and play all kinds of games, giving our takes from a heavy gamer's perspective. I can't, I mean, at this point, right? I mean, seriously.
No, keep going. Keep going.
All right. So we're kicking off the series of all the 2016 Golden Elephant Award finalists. And for better or for worse, God bless Tom and Mary. Thank you for your patience and all y'all watching. We're starting off with an infamous Traffic designed by Cole Worley and published by Holland Spiele. So, as you guys probably know, everybody, my very clever, very smart, beautiful wife and co-host Amanda, and a couple of actually, veterans of the streams and very good friends of ours. We have Sweater Mike, not in a sweater.
Yep.
And we have just Ash.
Hello! and we're pretty too.
Sure.
Yeah. Go with it. Yeah. Sure. Thanks for your patience tonight, y'all. It's been stressful on our end, let me tell you, especially for this one right here. And these three, because they've had to deal with me because of the audio issues. So, hey, awesome. Thanks a lot. And yeah, these two especially are extremely shady. So, hopefully the sound levels sound a lot better than they did last time. We should have dialed everything in, now that actually in theory sound works. So, yeah, infamous Traffic. Let's go ahead and get to it, shall we? All right, so Mike's going to kind of do the thematic opening of it, and then I will actually go through on how to teach the game. All right, cool. Mike, take it away.
All right, an infamous Traffic is a game about the high society of London, balls, yes. So why are we looking at a map of China? Is that what you're... Okay. So why are we looking at a map of China when the theme is about London high society? Well, all those parties, clothes, all of
fancy
that
hats.
Fancy hats, yes.
We made lots of clothes in Rococo the other day.
We did. And all of that costs money, and a lot of it. And where do you get money?
You obviously the Orient, right?
Of course, by shipping your opium from India into China and getting everyone addicted to it. No matter if it causes grievous harm to the political system or the people there, that's okay. It's the colonial era, and this is what we do. So, because it's for a good cause, our little scion here, he's got to have his fancy pants.
Yep. So, when we were playing this the other night, Mike actually said that this might be the most cynical game in existence that he's ever played.
It is. It's amazing. I'm hoping that Cole Worley designs for us an entire series of colonial era themed games. We'll go to Indonesia, we'll go to India, we'll
Africa,
go to the Dutch East Indies, everywhere that was exploited during the early 1800s. I think those will make great games.
All right. All right. So, an infamous Traffic. Before I go into actually teaching the game, I feel like we ought to point out the stuff on the board so that it kind of gives a little bit of context, because it's mechanically it's not a hard game, but it's very opaque. And by opaque, I mean what you're doing and why you're doing it isn't really readily apparent why you're doing it. The how isn't hard, but the why really is, right? I mean, Amanda grokked this really well the first time. The other three of us, we were like, I'm just going to pull this lever?
Yeah,
Let's
see what happens. Or I didn't see what happened at all.
Right. So we actually got into a discussion on our Facebook page. Somebody said, wow, opaque, that's not very complimentary. And Tom, who is one of the publishers of the game, actually said, no, actually, for the types of games this is, I would rather that be pointed out. Yeah. And a lot of people tend to see that as a compliment to the game because they want a kind of butterfly effect. Like, what I do now affects the game here, and how does it affect it? They like that. And guilty. I don't know about, I don't know about y'all, but I assume a lot of y'all are the same way. So, yeah. So, again, thanks, everybody, for sticking with us through this. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the map. So, there, get the chat fixed. There we go. All right. So, China. You have a total of 8 different zones or areas. You have the 4 coastal, you have the 4 inland here. Industry leaders, we'll talk about those in a little bit. Dice pool, we're going to play, because we're only playing 4 players, we are playing the full 4 rounds, potentially, or 4 turns, I guess. We have the conspiracy circles up at the top, and all this will make some more sense. I just want to give a little bit of context right now. We have the Qing forces track, the yellow one here, which this will always mimic the amount of Qing forces that are on the board. Right now there are 2 Qing forces. We're at 2. The outrage, how pissed off are people? Not yet, but they will. We'll get there. The prizes, which ultimately, provided the game does not go into revolt, China does not go into rebellion, the prizes are the goal of the game, because those are going to provide us victory points. There's pretty good player aids on the board itself. However, Tombot on BGG made this player aid right here, double-sided. Now, I'm not going to say that the game is unplayable without it. It totally is playable without it. But this makes it a whole lot easier. He did a really, really good job. So Tombot on BGG, really good job with that. And actually, I'm going to use that to teach y'all how to play it. And everybody will chime in for either where I get it wrong or to kind of expand on that a little bit. Our player boards that you guys can see, I don't have the Tableau camera turned on tonight because honestly, I think you guys can make it out. And actually, we can use Amanda's right here. All right. So what we have here is her revenue for her company on the bottom track. It starts at 0. That's where that cube is. And the investments of each turn start at 0. The amount of revenue that you're at any given time dictates the amount of investments that you're going to be able to make in a given turn. Your revenue on a turn can fluctuate, so it might go from, oh, I can't take any more investments, to, oh, all of a sudden I can get 2 more investments, which we'll get into as we go along. I think that's a pretty good thing. Supply chain, supply chains. So there are, in the different zones, there are a different number of supply chains. In the first zone here, in the A, there are 3 supply chains, then 1 in B, 1 in C, and 2 in D. They're made up of, each one has 1 opium space on it, which is going to be, we're going to be placing enterprises out here on the board. These are water spaces, which are going to be for ships, our ships, for when it's a closed area, those join into one area, when it's an open area, and then there's land areas for our merchants and bureaucrats. The inland places, etc., etc. I'll go into that more here in a bit. So, the goal of the game, it's victory points. Maybe. We're gonna go under the assumption that it is victory points, that we're going to play all 4 rounds, and if so, these prizes. These prizes are going to be awarded. Notice there are 3 prizes. We are 4 players. 1 person is not going to get a prize. It's possible that more than 1 doesn't get a prize. Those range from -1 point to 3 points. The high score I think we've had in this game so far is 8 points for the winner. We're going to score for prizes, and we're going to score industry leaders. And that's it. That's all the points you get in this game. So, as I said, the game takes place over 4 rounds. During each round, there are 4 steps? Yeah, there are, or 3 phases, really, over each turn, and they all happen identically, except there's a little bit more seeding at the beginning of the game for the first turn, and it's a static setup at the beginning of each game. So I'm going to skip, actually, phase 1, which is refresh, and just go into the main part actions. When I'm done, hopefully the refresh will make more sense at that point. All right? Cool. So the actions, and this is the meat of the game. First things first, you can invest. So what do you do when you take an investment on Amanda's player board here? If she takes an investment, she's going to move her marker up. That's 1 investment that she takes. She has 3 options, and we're going to look at my pieces over here. They can be opium, investing in opium supply, which are these 5 crates right here, or to get into the shipping business, these 5, or merchants, these 5. So when you take a single investment, you're going to place it into your holding. So if I decide to go into shipping, I place it here into my holding. Right here, it says holding, means whatever's on top of on the front of your player board. Now, all of these come with a cost. They could be a cost of 1 or a cost of 0. The opium and the shipping all have a really tiny little 1 on them right there to remind you that there's a cost of 1. So in that case, if Amanda's investing, she would drop that down to a -1. That's her revenue. If she invested, however, in a merchant, those do not cost. It would just cost an investment action, and that's that. So investing, you bring it up, you move it up, that's your turn. However, there's also special envoys, which I'll explain those here in a little bit, but it's going to only affect merchants here in a little bit. Also, the moment that you invest in any of those 3 enterprises, if you have the most, and by the most I mean in your holdings or on the board itself, if I have 2, everybody else has 1, or if I'm the first player at the beginning of the game, I have 1, I'm instantly the industry leader in whatever industry I invested in. So if I invested in opium, boom, I'm now the opium leader. And when I'm not the opium leader, that means somebody has tied me or taken the lead from me. If they take or if we tie, I just remove it. If they take the lead, they would put theirs out there. Pretty simple. Cool?
Yep.
Any questions on that here, locally? All right. Excuse me. All right. Cool. So then we go into second possible action, which is placing. And here's where it gets a little complicated. And you guys, if you guys want to be Vanna and chime in, please by all means do so. So the first things first is there must be opportunity, or a port must be open. So let's take a look only in this area over here for area 1. This British flag,
There you go.
there you go. This British flag means this area is open. What that means is opportunity doesn't matter. There doesn't need to be opportunity to be able to place in this area. What it also means is the 2 shipping areas will combine, but we'll get into that. So opportunity is dictated by the dice that are out on the board. So indulge me for, the game starts with this area open, but indulge me and let's say it's not. So then the opportunity in this game is dictated by the dice as well as the dice that are available in the dice pool. So you see there's a 6 and a 5 here. To be able to have opportunity, a die here must match a die in the die pool. So for instance, if we had a 4 and a 4, notice there's no 4s out here in the dice pool that represent a 4. That means there's no opportunity.
There is demand. The dice on the region represent demand, but there is no opportunity.
Correct. Now, if there's that, there is opportunity because at least one of the dice match up with a die in the die pool. All right? So that's opportunity. So you must have opportunity to be able to place your enterprises out on the board, at least when it comes to opium and ships. So let's talk about placing ships to start. All right. If it's a closed region, i.e., it's not a British flag. So each of these are regions. I'm using the word area or zone, but same thing, region. If it's in a closed region, you must place it in the outer waters. The outer waters are the dark blue spaces out here. There you go. So when Mike on his turn, he invested in a ship, and then on his next turn, we go around the table, either clockwise or counterclockwise. We'll get into that. And then he places it out here on the area. The goal is to make a complete supply chain. A complete supply chain means that all the spaces in a supply chain are full. Now, when he places this, he also sets the price or the income that he theoretically will get from that investment, from that enterprise. So when he places it out here, he could be greedy and place it out there. And whatever side is facing up is the active side. So if he goes 3, realistically, with that number, he might go with 2 and call it good. That's placing a fleet in a closed area or a closed region. If, however, the region is open, then instead of placing it here, there are not 2 Z zones, there are 1 C zone. And those 2, now that represents that all of that area right there is occupied by his fleet. That's the only difference. So that's putting out fleets.
When a region is not open, only player fleets can only go into the outer waters, pirateers must occupy the near waters.
Correct. All right, so moving on to opium. So opium can only be placed where there's spots for opium. There are 7 spots on the board for opium. So if you have invested in opium, you then place it out here. Cool. And actually, let me have your ship back. And let's say we had done this because it's a closed port. There. So now we still need 2 more things to be able to complete this supply chain. The next thing that can be placed out here is merchants. So merchants can be placed out on only in land being just the plain white areas out here, there, so on and so forth. However, if the zone is open, they can be placed, no problem. So what just happened right there? So Ash's merchant comes out there, no harm, no foul. Thanks.
Yep.
However, if it's closed, then for him to be able to place this merchant, he never cares about opportunity for this to be able to place a merchant. What he does need, though, is a special envoy. So going back to Amanda's board, there are spots for 2 special envoys out here. Now, to create a special envoy, it requires her to take a merchant and put it on there, and it costs 0. Boom, but that's her turn. Comes back around, it becomes her turn again. Now, let's say she wants to bring out a merchant. That would obviously be another investment. That's her turn. Come back around. Now, if she wants to place it out here, because Ash has not done it yet, or no one has, and it's a closed port, she uses her special envoy, so she spends that, goes back into her supply. Then she can place this out here, 0, 1, or 2, whatever it is that she wishes to do.
And you only need the special envoy when there's no opportunity.
No,
correct?
No, it's merchants can be placed in a land zone in an open region, period. If
Right.
it's open, meaning open, can be placed freely. However, if it's closed, which it is right now, you need a special envoy. The dice do not matter.
All right.
Okay, the opportunity does not matter when it comes to merchants. It only matters when it comes to fleets and opium. Cool? All right, so that's placing all 3 types of guys, of all 3 types of enterprises. However, there is a thing called underselling or
Underselling.
undercutting or whatever you want to call it. So let's go back to this example where, let's say it's open. It's a completed supply chain, but here, let's say it's not yet. Hold on. It's my turn. I have already put out a merchant on a previous turn, and I look out there and I'm like, you know what? I don't want Amanda to make income. So what's going to happen is I'm going to take my merchant. She has 2 income or revenue right now. I kick her out, and I can place either it on the 1 side or the 0 side. And thank you for playing. It goes back into her holding, but I've undercut her, and now I'm making money. She ain't making no money, right? So
Unless she were the industry leader for merchants.
Correct. All right. So now, in that example, if Amanda was the merchant leader, you cannot undercut the industry leader. So, sorry for playing, thanks, but I can't undercut her.
Mm-hmm.
But with my ship, I could, because no one's the industry leader here, I can come out. He's at 2. I could drop down to a 1 there. Thanks for playing, Mike. It goes back into his holding. Boom. That's undercutting.
Yep.
You can also undercut with the other parts of the game, which we will get into here in a little bit. But that's placing, which is a lot of the majority of the game.
That's a lot of
actually.
the maneuvering of the
It
game.
is.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's talk completed supply chains. Let me have your opium back, sir. All right. So, yeah, that'll work. It's Mike's turn. He decides to place the opium out here. Boom. All of these spots in the supply chain are instantly, the moment they are completed, it's now a completed supply chain. So what does that mean? Well, we count up the number of income from everybody combined. 2, 3, the game adds 1 is 4, 5, 6. Are those numbers less than the total number of the pips on the dice in that region? Yes. The answer is yes. It's now a completed supply chain. What does that mean? And this is really important. Finally, we get paid. So everybody who has a piece of this, and sorry, Ash,
Oh,
Mike would get 2 revenue, I would get 1, Amanda would get 2, and we would actually move them on our tracks, and that's how those will rise and fall. But then with here, if Ash had some opium already in his holding, Mike is not the industry leader. It becomes his turn. He's like, you know what, Mike, you're making too much money. I'm going to cut you out. So this goes back into his holding. Mike instantly loses all the income that provided. So in this case, it's 2. Ash will have gained whatever he undercut him with, which is 1. Everyone drives home in, well, Ash drives home in a Cadillac anyway. So that's a completed supply chain. However, if now, bad example, let's say that we're at 2 there, and the demand is only 5, and we are at 6, that is not a completed supply chain. Why? Because we are trying to supply more than the demand is. So until we are able to change the supply by increasing it, this is not a completed supply chain, meaning nobody gets income yet.
We either have to decrease our price or increase the demand in the
Exactly.
products.
So if it were that, it's 6, we're at 6, everyone's cool. That's good.
when you complete the supply chain, that's important because when a supply chain is completed, we all collect our revenue, and one of the dice, the demand, leaves
Goes
because
back
the
into the
demand's
die
been
pool.
satisfied.
Exactly. So once that happens, the moment that happens, everyone gets their revenue, a die leaves. It's always the lowest value die that leaves. So demand in that area has been at least partially satisfied, if not fully satisfied. We do not roll the die. It goes back into the die pool. We're just there so we can mark it. Excuse me. And that's it. And everybody gets their income, so on and so forth. All right. We'll get into breaking supply chains here in a little bit. All right. So now you want to flip up all the conspiracy markers.
Ooh.
All right, so the game starts, and these are random. They're randomly randomly drawn. There are 3 conspiracy markers in the first 2 circles, 2 in the 3rd and 4th, and then 1 in the rest of them. So the 2 actions that we've talked about already so far are investing and placing. Now we're going to talk about conspiracy. So what is it? For your turn, you can choose one of the 8 conspiracy circles and activate all of the chits that are in there. Whatever they are, you must do them all. You cannot be like, this would hurt me, I'm going to set this aside. No, that doesn't work. Choose better. So you do not have to start at the front. You can choose any of them that you want to do. So let's go ahead and start with the really easy ones. At the far end, we have the missionary. All right. Keeping jokes aside, it can be placed in any region that's adjacent to another missionary. So right now, this is the only area that has a missionary. So adjacent here, here, and here. There we go. So if we place it, and notice there's crosses, which that 1 missionary per location, then what happens? Whoever placed the missionary takes one of the dice, rolls it, and puts it in that area. Boom. There's now demand. And I'm sorry, there's now, well, technically yes, but it's called opportunity. So to be able to place ships in opium here, there's now demand because the 6 is the same as the 6. If he had rolled a 4, there's demand, but there's no opportunity. I'm hoping that makes sense because that's it's a subtle change, or a subtle difference, but
Crucial.
It really is. It's a massive, important thing to track in this game. All right.
There's a question. Todd asks, demand only leaves if a smuggler is part of the chain? No.
We'll get there.
Can you mute me, Mike, please?
All right. Okay, so that's a missionary. So we'll put him back.
Yep.
All right. Next, smugglers. All right. They can be placed in a region that's either with existing smugglers, i.e. right now this is the only area, or adjacent to another smuggler. So again, here, 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 or here, different from a missionary since there's already a missionary here. Now, placed on a land zone or an inner sea zone. So where Ash is looking here, we have a land zone and we have an inner sea zone. Those are the 2 locations that can go. Here, it could go inner sea zone,
Oh, word.
Yeah, well-
Yeah, all right.
or-
Here,
yeah, there you go.
Inner sea zone, inner sea zone, inner sea zone, or land. Now, in theory, he'd be able to go out here underneath to undercut the bureaucrats if the player who places them wishes to. However, it must be a lower number. The bureaucrats are 1, the smugglers are 1. That doesn't work. When we place him, if it's part of an incomplete chain, meaning if we place him out here, if we place him over, it has to be adjacent. If we place him over here, we take a die, we roll it, we add it to the region. Cool?
Yep.
That's pretty self-explanatory, I think. Pretty simple. All right.
Smugglers create demand, and missionaries create demand.
Which is hysterical to me. I understand it's thematically accurate, still funny. All this talking, sorry, and a lot of cussing during the audio issues. at
So
the
much
beginning.
cussing.
It was
So much
horrible.
cussing.
It was horrible. So, all right. So now let's talk about the bureaucrats, because those are pretty simple. The bureaucrats are basically NPC merchants, I think is a good way to describe them. So our merchants act just like the bureaucrats in this respect, that they go on land zones, either empty or they can undercut. So this 2, bad example, give me a...
There's a 3
No.
or 0.
All right. This 0 bureaucrat could come, it could be placed and undercut Amanda here if somebody wanted to be devious, and they will. When they go out there, they just take up a spot and they add up the numbers for the completed chains. They basically work exactly like a player merchant.
Yep.
Cool. All right. The British influence is really simple. Whoever chooses to take that circle, that conspiracy, will take it, put it into their holdings, and that's it. When we get to the Opium War, we'll talk about that more in a bit. But when you choose it, that's it. You take it. The end. However, now let's talk about the Qing forces. So the Qing forces are the dragons. They look a lot like the dragons on the cover of 1880, the train game. So there are there's 2 plus types. There's a regular Qing force here, and it's where it's clear, and there's a Qing force with a police action with the little P in the corner. There's also, he's like a Qing force times 2 police actions. Lin Zexu, he's just a super cop, basically is what he is. So, what the 2 Qing forces do is when you place them, immediately increase the Qing force track by 1. Then that's it if they don't have a police action. If they have a police action, all right. They're doing that to remove one, either the smuggler or the missionary from that region, right?
Right.
So that pisses off the people. So the outrage goes up 2 for every smuggler or missionary that's removed. We adjust the demand. So because we removed a smuggler, one of the dice goes back. Now, let me make sure I get this right. If a smuggler was removed from a completed supply chain, though, which then breaks that chain, no die is removed because you would have already removed it when you completed the supply chain.
Right.
Which it'll make sense when we get going. However, if you break the supply chain, everybody who has revenue from that supply chain loses it immediately. So, you were getting 4 revenue, you're not anymore. You get 0. And that's all the different conspiracies. The Lin Zexu one, he must go where there's the most black pieces on the board to where he can do the most damage. That's that. Put those back for me.
Yep.
All right. All right. The other 2 things you can do. You can lower prices. So if you're scared of getting undercut, even though, let's say, Amanda's not the industry leader, she wants to just lower her price to protect herself, she can do so. That's her turn. You can lower prices on one of your enterprises that's out on the board. And last but not least, you can pass. Now, normally in a lot of games, passing is just, I pass, that's the end of the turn. However, in this one, a little bit different. Whoever passes first will become the start player. So I think you guys can see that all right. So that's the start player marker. It's small, but it does its job. Now, it's double-sided. It has arrows going to the right, and it has arrows going to the left. And that will dictate the order of the turn for the next turn based on who passes second. So if I pass first, I'm going to be the start player. If Ash passes second, he dictates. Does he want it to go this way or that way? And that's what he chooses. All right, so after we have passed, then you can choose to send your scion home. So everybody has a scion. If it's a low value, it's a young scion. If it's a high value, it's a notable scion. So what these guys are going to give you the ability to do is get prizes. And again, prizes are the victory points in the game. So when I pass, let's say I pass right here, my revenue right now, if you guys can see, is at 0. Now, I can send my scion to London with a revenue or on his 0 side. This is basically kind of a king of the hill. Whoever has the highest number gets his choice of prizes, or her, as it were. So if I can choose him, send him at 0. And I put him in the first scion box because I'm the first one to pass. However, I can spend revenue up to -4 to bump him up. So, like Ash, he spent and he jumps up to 3. Cool, when he passed. People can keep taking turns, so on and so forth, until we've all passed. Now, it's important to note, you cannot send a scion to London unless you get him to 0. So if your revenue is at -3, you could spend 1 revenue there to put him up to -2. Well, that's not 0. You ain't sending a scion. That means you don't get a prize. Which, if there's a negative prize out there, maybe you're not stressed
Maybe
out
not
about
such a
that.
bad thing.
Right. Once we all have passed, as we pass, the conspiracy spaces up at the top cost 1 revenue for every conspiracy spot that you choose to take, and for each player that's passed. So in this example, I've passed. They now each cost 1 revenue. Once Ash has passed, for Mike and Amanda, they each cost 2. So in other words, probably people aren't going to be choosing them much at that point. I do find it funny that the revenue track goes up to 18 to mock us. I've seen it as high as 7 or 8, but that's about it. So once we all have passed, then we're going to turn up all the prizes, and whoever has the highest scion gets first choice. They choose the highest value.
Highest and furthest to the left.
Yes. So the tiebreaker, if Ash and I both sent 3 scions out there, or 3
Level
value
3,
scions, then whoever was there first, they have clout more than the new guy. So in this case, I would choose first, Ash would choose second in the event of a tie. If I had a 2, Ash would choose first because he's higher, and then I would choose second in that example. You do not have to send your scion. That's important to note, especially if you know one of those is negative. Maybe you choose not to. That's pretty close to it, except for the opium war, I think, right? Is there anything else that...
The opium war and the details of breaking a supply chain, but I think that's easier to describe as it happens.
we go, yeah.
And as we all know, there's going to be an opium war.
Right. All right, so an opium war. I'm going to do a very truncated version of this just to let you guys know. If at any point at the end of a round, the outrage is either higher or must be higher than the Qing forces, we have an opium war. At that point, we look around the board, who has the most British forces? Whoever has the most British forces gets all the British forces. We have to give them whoever to that player. If there's a tie, they must agree on the placement of how things play out. If they can't agree, nothing happens. So that's important to note. So each of the British flags that the commander, meaning whoever's in charge of the opium war, whoever has those flags, each of those flags can do one of the following thing. They can either open a region. Notice British flags. They have to be able to open a region. You place one out there, it's now open. The end. However, it must be in a area without any Qing forces. Right? Make sure I'm saying that right. Yeah. It must be it can only be open in a region that has no Qing forces, and must be adjacent to an open region. The coastal areas can be opened as long as they don't have Qing forces. The inner regions must be can be opened if there's no Qing forces and they're adjacent to an open region. That's what it is. All right, cool. What that means is the port's now open, so opportunity does not matter. Merchants can now be placed without having to use special envoys. Then the outer and sea zone, outer and inner, merge into one. And remove a die from the pool for every port that's open. That's going to come into play, and I'll explain that here momentarily. But that's opening a region. Then the other options, you could battle, meaning you place it down here, you can remove up to one or two yellow pieces that are out there. Qing forces must be removed before bureaucrats, and then bureaucrats can be removed. And that's one way you can break a supply chain. Mm-hmm. Again, when you break a supply chain, everybody loses their revenue from that. If you like the status quo, it's good to be the king, right? You just take the British flag and you discard it. That's another option. You just don't do anything with it. And then after that, we reset the outrage down to 0. We count out how many Qing markers are out there. We set the Qing forces track to what it is. And then we do the London season, which is we get the prizes. Last thing, talk about refreshing. At the very beginning of the game, this doesn't happen. At the beginning of round 2, we advance the turn track. We deal out 1 counter into every conspiracy, so it's possible that those grow and we don't choose them all. Then there's going to be 3 prizes that are dealt out just as you see. And then in turn order, everybody gets to look at 1. So you know 1/3 of the information that's out there. So if you see somebody really good, sent out a really high scion, they probably know it's good. Yeah. If maybe they're hemming and hawing, maybe what they saw isn't so good. And that's it. I think that's pretty good to get going.
The last thing is if China devolves into revolution.
Good call. All right, so we were talking about removing the dice from the dice pool. If at any moment there are 0 dice out here in the dice pool, game ends. Then all your prizes and all those victory points that you got from being 2 points from the industry leader and whatever prize total you have doesn't mean jack. You get 0 points. All that means is count the pieces that are on the board that are your color. I have 3. Nobody else has 3. I win. The end. It's whoever has the most pieces on the board, the most enterprises, because you're better situated for when the revolt ends to be able to capitalize on it.
Sense.
And that's thematically why it plays out that way.
And is that how it actually happened?
That's a
don't
question
remember.
for Cole.
There we
I don't
go.
know. So hopefully that's not terribly rough. Yeah. So there we go. Let's get started. Let's figure out.
I think we're back to status. So we flipped these up, and now it's time to peek at the prizes. If
First
our
turn
star
marker.
player-
Give me one. That's funny. They're all
Scions,
blue. Yeah.
scions.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Thanks for the patience tonight, y'all. All right. So all that matters. Actually, we'll do the first 2. First player and the second player will choose the direction. 1, 2. We'll just make it go clockwise. I'll go last. That's fine. There you go.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. I would love the board a bit more zoomed in. Hey, anybody watching real quick, if you are not on 1080p or 60, change your resolution because you should be able to see everything pretty crystal clear. And if you're still having issues with it, then let me know.
Set 'em at 0.
Oh, yeah, good call.
Yep.
I struggle enough. I don't need a handicap.
Especially this game, nobody needs a handicap.
Correct. All right, so Mike, start us off.
All right. I'm going to...
The only game I would argue that is comparably mean, maybe, is Neue Heimat. This is brutal. If you have a game group or people that don't like confrontation, not the game for them.
I'm making one investment in a merchant, which makes me, for a very brief moment in time, the merchant leader.
Yep.
We'll see about that. Dent and Company is investing in shipping.
All right.
So that goes away then.
Right. So now note, because of the fact that he invested in shipping that costs one income, he no longer can take another investment at this moment because you only are you're limited to the number of investments based on your revenue, based on the track on your
And the
on your
bracketing
board.
at the
Right.
bottom.
Man,
Okay. I'm going to invest in a bureaucrat. So
merchant.
sorry.
All right.
So now I lead.
Nope.
No, I
you're,
don't.
No, you're tied.
We're both
So
tied, okay.
nobody is that. You took one investment.
There you go.
All right. So sure, why not? I mean, no one's doing it. I'll do some opium.
Keep your nose clean.
Yeah, as you do. Now, these are worth 2 points at the end of the game. We got a ways. So, all right. So, Mike, you're up.
All right. Since Amanda and I took investment actions in merchants, we actually have a second investment
Correct, which is
that
why
we
I
can
did that.
take. Exactly.
Everybody wants you to zoom in. It's hard to see.
Is
in
it
the
really?
1080p.
Okay, then I will zoom in. We may, you know what? I'll tell you what. Before I do that,
Can we
then
just do this?
not for y'all because of the chat boxes and everything,
Okay.
but Mike and I at least
go.
we can do this.
And we can just let you guys know where we are.
Yeah. All right.
I'm at income 15.
Yeah.
I'm at
Let me
18.
bring it
Yeah,
out
how did
just
that
a
happen?
hair.
I don't know. It's weird.
How's that? That a little bit better for y'all? All right. Cool.
Oh, just go above. Oh, there you go.
Oh, that's a good idea. There you go. We thought we had it all set up for y'all, right?
Holdings.
Cool. Is that better? Give me a sign. All right.
They will
So,
in 10 seconds.
Right, yeah. All right, Mike.
All right.
So you invested in the merchant last turn.
Right. Now I will take a second investment, paying 1 to invest in ships or opium. Ships or opium. Well,
Shipping's awfully powerful.
it is. Let's do that. Here's a ship.
He tried
Now-
to talk you out of that because he's opium leader.
Well, no,
Yes.
not entirely. It's legitimate. The ships are stronger because they can't be reduced down to 0. Ships can only be reduced down to 1. So therefore, even though opium can be 3, it can be dropped down to 0. So they're not as strong as shipping.
But perhaps a little more flexible.
Well, you know what we could do.
You could
Since-
just turn off everything. Turn off all the other cameras and just zoom in and lose the chat.
Or actually, here, this is there, and we'll just move the board over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the joys of plexiglass.
Hang
Hold
on. We're able to catch. Oh, it's the 2 parts. Yeah, forgot about that.
Well, we thought we were trying to get it perfect for y'all, so bear with us.
And this does have to overlap.
Yep, just a hair.
Mind the squaring too. Little out of square. There you go.
That's pretty good
Yep.
right there.
Yep.
Call that
Got
good.
it.
There's a cat that wants in.
Until he doesn't. There we go. Yeah, that's going to have to do, guys. That's the best we can do. So, all right. And actually, I want to double check about the open port. We normally play with 5 players, so let me double check that for setup.
Oh, that's right.
And I believe it's your investment, Ash.
Yep, that is true. That is out.
Is the smuggler still on land then?
It's just you start on the second turn and that goes away.
Okay.
That's it. That's the only differences. Good catch. There we go.
So.
Okay. They couldn't see the numbers on the chits. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, that's a little important.
You know what? I actually can track mine because we really
Oh, the player aid part of the board?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the board is basically a player aid.
right. So there we go. That'll work.
I'll be placing my ship onto A3. Let's see if we can work together.
And these are separate C zones because the ports are not open.
Okay, I am going to take another investment. You should be fine.
Okay.
It's okay, buddy.
It's okay. Hi. Come on. Come on. Come on.
I'm gonna do shipping. So reduce by 1.
Hey, bud.
All right.
Sorry.
Well, I can't take an investment at this point.
It's okay.
Where is my opium? Oh, when I moved everything, I didn't. Oh yeah, it's out here. I will. So because I cannot take an investment, but looking around here, let's see. Since I am the only one that's invested in opium right now, I like the idea of being able to get a completed chain out here. So I'm going to go ahead and bring the smuggler out. And again, when you place a smuggler out there in the conspiracy, no one's passed, so it's free for me to do. You can place it in any inner sea zone or land area. I will place him here. When he comes out, take a die from the die pool. Oh, we didn't look at the prizes. Back up. That's right. We forgot. Where were y'all on that? Peanut gallery?
They're fixing the board.
Yeah.
Right. Fair enough. All right. All right. So everyone, we're a little ahead of ourselves there.
That's a problem.
I'll get down.
I will skin me a cat. Yeah, we'll look at that. So, nobody look at the camera. Well, you guys can see the point, but you can't see the name. And all the names are thematic, like what they are.
I don't have the names memorized.
I don't either.
I'm just saying if you wanted to say it so that people know.
Oh, no. Well, no, I know the negatives at least.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
okay.
That's
So
true.
I place a smuggler out there. Because it's part of an incomplete chain, I get to take a die of my choice. And I'm going to be kind of nasty a little bit.
Ooh.
And I'm going to take the 5 and roll.
Oh.
There. All right. So the reason I chose that is because I'm trying to lower the opportunity that's here, because I know I'll be able to get that with my opium. So, Mike, you're up.
I'm going to take these 3.
I'm not 100% sure that I like it a whole lot at 5, but 3 and 4, definitely. All right, so you're placing those 3 conspiracy.
Right. And I believe Lin Zexu can must go into Canton, and so he's going to kick out that smuggler because
You didn't have to do that.
I don't
Mike.
really want you two profiting from a completed supply chain over there.
And when these get removed, these are out of the game, so out.
Just leave the door cracked a little bit.
And he's going to eject the missionaries.
There, he can push it in and just fix the drapes. There you go.
Now, that has kicked out 2 black tiles, so the 1 and the 5
Go away.
go back home. So that's Lin.
He stays there. He's a Qing force, so he
is
goes out there.
Qing
Yep.
forces. All right.
So that's the 2 police actions.
So that was 1 and 4.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's place that has to be adjacent.
And there's no missionaries now.
So
So how does that work?
I've never seen that. That's a really good question.
Good going, Mike.
break the
Like
game.
trying to break the game.
I'm trying.
All right. So, hey, peanut gallery. So if there's no missionaries on the board, where do they go? Because to place a missionary, may be placed in any region adjacent to another missionary. There's no missionaries. That I don't know the answer to that. Let me look. Missionary. If there are no missionaries on the board, can be placed in any coastal region. All right. Cool.
Excellent. Well, then let's start some demand some demand over there.
Yep, and you place a die when you do that.
Let's. Now, at this point, I have not played this game enough to make a strategic choice here as to which die.
I mean, 6 is the only one in play. If you
Right.
want to reduce the chance of this being able to have anything, any opportunity, you would choose the 6. Anything else, it's a cow's opinion, I think.
Right. Well, let's do that. Let's make things a little more difficult. 6.
Cole
is.
said that if you wish, you can play with all the prizes face up. That's not how the game was intended to play, so that's why we're playing it this way. But he did say that it's an option if you want to, and it's on BGG.
And finally, a 0 value merchant.
But it helps. The bureaucrat helps completing supply chains, so that's why. Hey, Tom.
Let's place him here. Done.
All right, Ash.
Did you really do what you wanted to do? I'm not sure that you did.
So now it's interesting because Mike chose to put the missionary out here. We cannot place a missionary out here because it must be adjacent to an existing missionary.
Right. So
Boo on you, sir. I say boo on you.
let's try to reconstruct this.
I welcome that.
Our
Okay.
tenuous alliance has us working
Right.
together. And where does a 2 bureaucrat belong? I think right there.
All right.
All right, Amanda.
All right.
Hold on. You place the smuggler at a die.
Oh, thank you. Excuse me. And I'm going to do the smart thing and remove the 1 because nobody cares about a 1.
4,
There you
which it's useless
There's
right
still
now.
opportunity there. No, it's
There's
additional
opportunity,
demand.
but it does add to demand because now we're at 2, 3, 4 here. That allows me to jack up my opium as high as I want. And because I'm the leader, can't be undersold. So why wouldn't I?
Good job.
Just undercut Ash.
I'm okay with that.
I know.
I welcome that.
I know.
So on my turn, now since everyone's feed me Seymour, I will place my opium right there. Okay, that immediately becomes a completed supply chain. So a completed supply chain, first and foremost, everybody gets their income. And by everybody, I mean Amanda and myself. Amanda gets 1, I get 3. 1, 2, 3. So now you'll notice I went from -1 to 2, which allows me to take 2 more investments in subsequent turns. And because this is a completed supply chain and there is a smuggler there, we take the smallest value die. Now, it's important to note, this is 6 value. It's below 10, so we're good to go. Even if it was just a 4 left, it doesn't matter. When the moment that the supply chain was completed, there was demand, so it doesn't matter that there isn't after the fact. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that said,
You covered
the
it.
4 goes back because it's the smallest and there is a smuggler. We have a completed supply chain. One thing we did not cover are the inland supply chains. These cannot be completed until there is a completed supply chain that is connected to it. You cannot go through another inland supply chain to reach. So if this supply chain were completed, you could not complete this one, assuming this one was not, because you would go through another inland to get there. Whereas now that this one is completed, it opens up these two to be completed. And when that happens, we'll talk about the benefits of why that happens. Cool? Mike, your honor. Your honor.
Well, that was revolting.
No, there will be at the
There-
end.
there-
Yeah, no, there's none yet.
Right, so the outrage is higher than the Qing forces, so we are at this point at the end of the turn, we'll have an opium war.
Correct.
Wouldn't it be nice if I controlled that?
That was my other option. I actually considered doing that
Yeah.
since no one had taken opium. I was like, I could delay it for a turn. But then, so I think in hindsight I probably should have. But,
Well, let's put Qing forces out here.
all right, that goes up 1. Because you took the conspiracy, you must place them all. No one has passed. It's free to do so. Well, it costs an action. That's it.
And let's place a 2 merchant here.
All right. That's it. And he keeps that.
I keep the jack.
So while I was teaching, I basically didn't see the chat at all. So is there anything exciting that I missed or anything I should have answered that I did not? Please ask it now. All right. We have words for people like you, so explain what you're doing here.
So I selected one of the conspiracy circles. I placed the 3 bureaucrat here to make sure that to torpedo that supply route, and I've placed the other Qing force here with the police action.
Which the police action removes the...
Removes 1 black token, and I'm choosing to bust up this smuggling, which breaks that supply chain. So that'll be 1 up on the Qing track, up 2 on the outrage track.
This goes away permanently. That's out of the game. But the thing that really makes me want to say bad words to Ash is Amanda goes down 1 revenue, which, let's face it, I don't care. But the 3 revenue that I lose...
You're going down 3, buddy.
1, 2, 3. No, I can't take that investment that I just got.
Perkins of Boston approves
Glory to
the
Rome,
action
sir.
taken by Dent and Company.
All right, you're up.
Thank you, sir. Now, do those stay there when we break the supply chain? Your investments in that broken supply chain remain?
Oh, wait, no, they come back, don't they? Mm-hmm. That's right. So, when he broke the supply chain, this comes back to Amanda, this comes back to me, and let's do it all over again.
Let's see.
So let's see. Ash, you're at 1 ship. Amanda's at 1 ship.
Mike's
at 1 ship.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Need motto. Okay, let's do... Let's just put my ship back out there. And...
It's a tough one with that smuggler in the land.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put it there.
Wow, a 3.
There we go. All right. Cool. I don't like my options. So what I'm thinking about here is if I put my opium out there, it's locked down. And until I think that it very much can be a completed supply chain, I don't want to do that. There's only 6. Wow, that's greedy. Because Amanda put the 3 ship out, there's 4 revenue already tied up. There's 3 spots here. So, and there's only 6 demand, meaning somebody would have to come in here and claim 0 to be able to give Amanda 3, which in
Or
other words,
undersell her.
or undercut her because she is not the leader. Again, I am still the opium leader, so I don't fear that. I really don't like my choices. Man. You know what? I'll go ahead and take the missionary. And we'll go ahead and put him here. We add a die. I could be... You know what? Let's do it. I'll take the 6. Those 2 lose opportunity. I'm not there. Doesn't bother me, and Amanda's ship is tied up.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like having an investment in an incomplete supply chain.
That's just
stuck.
hanging out. So, that's that. All right, cool.
My.
Yeah, that is a very true point, Andrew. Not a good game for people who have issues with loss aversion.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, don't get too attached.
Well,
That revenue is fleeting.
you know, you mentioned about the revenue up in the teens, up to 18. I wonder if we're not playing the game too aggressively, that if we played more cooperatively and, everybody tried to be cool, that we couldn't goose up the income.
Why
I'm
on
wondering.
earth would we do that?
Just to see the income up that high.
Oh, cool.
See it turn the corner.
All right, cool. Maybe it does.
I don't know.
We probably won't find out either.
No, I can't, and that's the thing. I can't imagine any of us seeing those tools at our disposal and not using
right,
them.
Exactly. Don't push the big red button.
Yeah, and there's only 8 of them. Yeah.
Well, someone had to, so I'm glad. But really, 2? That's awfully aggressive. Just saying.
Is. It is.
You're not endearing yourself to the rest of the team here.
I'm hoping that something else could happen over here, Ash. Over here.
Nope, not going to do it.
Okay. So there's demand in those 2 coastal areas, and that's it. All
And
right.
opportunity.
Sorry, and opportunity is what I meant. Yep. You know, I was going to watch the game afterwards. Thanks, Brian. You know, you've had a bad day. I'm going to let it go. Just remember.
Sorry, Brian.
Tomorrow is a new day.
Yeah. Glory to Rome.
I'm going to put my bureaucrat, right?
Merchant.
Merchant. Ah, those are bureaucrats. Merchant on 2.
You people don't
No.
want me to help.
I don't.
Hang
No,
on.
we can't
Yeah.
do that.
No, you can't. It's not an open area. You have to have a special envoy.
I really wish you could.
Yep.
Perkins of Boston would approve that move.
There's no open region, so you can't
I
place
can't
it
place
at
it at
all.
all.
Right.
Crap. Well,
Yeah. Maybe Perkins of Boston shouldn't have gone busting up supply chains.
I
It
agree.
was so much fun, though. It was Lynn. Lynn came out for the first time we've seen him.
okay, so this
Oh,
does not have a police action, so all I'm going to do is place it and move up the
Ching track.
forces,
Right.
Okay.
So basically, you're keeping the Opium Rebellion from happening likely this turn.
Okay.
All right. And what the Qing forces do is protect the bureaucrats, essentially. All right. So I still see no reason to put out my opium right now.
This is interesting how differently the map develops in each game.
It
It's so
does.
much fun.
All right. So I'm looking around at everyone's income. Everyone is at -1 revenue. I'm going to spend 1 revenue and to get my scion
Send
up to 0, and I will send him
Nice.
out there as a 0. So I have passed. That's it. I'm done for the turn. I cannot get back in.
Well, Mr. Russell,
Yes, Mr. Perkins of Boston.
I'm going to do something untoward here and see if this pays me or punishes me terribly.
You're going to drop it down 3 more
I'm going to go all the way to -4 and come out
with 2.
at 3.
2. You were at
1, 2,
-1.
3, yes, 2.
I was going to make someone do that.
Yeah.
I wasn't willing. So, okay. But the good news is you can't go down anymore if you were to lose anything. Obviously, you don't have any right now.
Tell me if you've heard this one. I'm spending 3 to send a 2.
Exactly, Ben. Exactly. All right.
hate you all.
So what I know right now, because of that, they both looked at different. They both looked at different prizes.
Yep.
They're both fighting for it. That tells me that they both looked at decent prizes. Again, they range from 3 to -1. So right now, whatever the worst one is, as it is right now, I would get. Now, Amanda has looked at one that I think you're the only one that looked at it, because Mike looked at the top one, Ash looked at the middle, Amanda looked at the bottom
And you
one.
looked at the middle.
And I looked at the top one
Oh,
the
I thought you
same
looked
as
at the
Mike. So the reason that matters is Amanda knows the one I looked at is probably a good one because she
Or
sees
at least
what.
not terrible.
Well, she sees what
you
Mike's
did.
she sees
Sure.
what Mike's done.
Ah, there you go. Yeah, good
And then I
call.
see what you did.
Right. So if what she looked at wasn't negative, then it's worth fighting over.
Yep.
But
So
because I will get
you'll get nothing.
in liking it.
You get nothing. You lose. So I'm going to spend 2 to get to 1.
All right. So that means she knows that she's taking third. All right. So we're at the end of the round. So now, first things first. We're into phase 3, foreign and domestic affairs. Opium War does not happen because outrage is not past the Qing forces. So then, reveal the prizes. That's a 1.
A fancy hat, a summer estate, and a peerage.
I will take the peerage. And
Now,
you-
real quick, before you do, now, Amanda was in the same boat as us, as all of us. So if she had dropped all the way down, she still would have been in third.
Right.
Because of the fact that she could only tie y'all, and y'all got there
Which is
before
why
I
I
did.
didn't do
No,
that.
that you did right. You did perfect. So I knew there was a fancy hat. I was willing to risk a little bit, but not much.
And I knew that there was a 3, but I
Oh.
also knew that all of you guys were fighting over it, so I knew that there couldn't be a negative or a 0.
Me,
Fair point.
I was just speculating. I saw the 1, and I was just speculating, so I got lucky.
Yep. All right. So Mike is running away with the game of 3 points.
And you may now call me Mr. Perkins Earl of Boston.
I won't
Not-
call you that because you bought the title.
And I have a fancy
You
hat.
weren't born into it. I'm not impressed.
All right.
I'm part of the Nouveau Riche.
So there we go. So
It shows.
that's the end of the first round. So we go into the second round. Advance the turn marker. Put 1 conspiracy out. Yep, we take our scions back.
I'll just flip
Who
them as
passed
I
second?
place.
Mike, you did. You were supposed to choose direction.
Yes, it will point toward me. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right.
This looks promising. Lots of profit to be had.
All right.
I'm excited.
And then 3 new prizes out on the board, please. And
And we all peek.
everyone, don't look.
La la la.
Okay. And actually, you should show the people at home what that is, Mike. Either camera's fine. Okay. This way they know what we're fighting over. They know all the information we don't. Ash.
Do I want
if
to
we
know
look-
what Edward knows?
I'm losing. Why would you want to know what I know?
I'll choose to know what Edward knows.
Does Amanda want to go on her own?
Yep.
And
Privileged
I
information.
will reach over and show everybody, but not look. So all I'm going to look at is the camera. And hopefully you guys can see that okay. Okay, cool. All right. Cool. Round 2 begins, starting with me. Everyone leave your revenue, reset your investments.
Meaning that all of us at -4 still get to take 1 investment.
Yep. Everybody gets to take 1 because we're all in the negative, as happens.
Yep.
I was hoping he wouldn't. So by me taking that, I forced Mike to take the second one so that he's the commander if and when there's an opium war. Which there's no Qing forces, so there won't be.
Regrettable.
Am I right? And I think so.
I believe you are.
Because the only way the outrage goes up
Is with police actions. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's no outrage, there will
I
be
think
no
so, yeah.
outrage this turn.
No open
Yes,
war.
yeah, Kenny. Sweater Mike is nouveau rich.
Nibrish.
In nouveau riche, yes. He is. He's -4. He's.
Mortgage to the hilt, but
Yes, he
boy,
is.
I look good to the neighbors.
Now, I can take an investment.
But it
and
must
can I
be a
spend-
merchant.
It must be
No.
free.
It
Gotcha.
must be, meaning you can only do a merchant.
Or
you can place or conspiracy.
place
or
one of
pass.
these fine pieces.
Well, no, you can, if you pass, you can't send your
Can't send the
scions
scion.
because you can't get back to 0.
Yep.
We have what's called a austere economy right now.
Yeah, but it was a hell of a party.
Yeah. Yes. Soon to be nouveau pourre. All right. So what's everyone got? All right. Ash has got a ship. Amanda's got a merchant, which she can place if she gets a special envoy, because there are no open ports. And then, wow, this is really hard that
Yeah.
there was no... If there was one police action, we had a chance for a...
To open up a port.
To open a port. Mm-hmm. Wow, that is really brutal. And I obviously have my puppies. So, does the game make sense yet? Is it, for those that have not played it, is it coalescing? And for those that have played it, have you seen it play out like this thus far in your own games?
What you thinking, Mike?
It feels like playing chess.
Mm-hmm.
Is it back around to me?
No, I'm
Oh,
thinking.
Yeah, okay. No, I have my move set because they are severely limited at this point.
Right, yeah. I mean, there's only so many things you can do with no income.
So what? We can put out
No
a bunch
revenue.
of dice onto the board, for example.
Oh. Here's an interesting note. Because there's no police actions, if we place all 5, if we empty the conspiracies, the game ends. Whoever has the most chits on the board wins.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah, it's amazing.
So right now,
But nobody thought of that. Oh, snap. I am going to purchase a puppy.
you can't. You have no money.
She didn't
didn't
go to
say
the
I
hill.
didn't go
all.
to 4. I just spent
had
Oh,
one.
I stand corrected. I apologize.
Well done, Amanda.
Thank you.
Uh-oh. Well, yeah, uh-oh. Wow. Who all's got... You haven't taken an investment, so you can save us. Your only hope.
Mike?
I'll go ahead and motivate you. How's that? Oh, should note also the missionaries. It's 1 per. Yep. We're going to throw down her. And... Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Oh my gracious.
Good roll.
All right. Mike?
There's a significant lack of opportunity in that province. We are going to make an investment in a special envoy.
Let's see. Ben says, haven't played. Not sure what y'all were fighting over in round 1. Those two did not want me and Amanda to get income. So they were trashing us. And I was trying to position myself to be able to capitalize in round 2. It's not playing out that way, but that's kind of what at least what they were trying to prevent. But once they did that, I can't speak for them. That's good. Kenny and Andrew say it's making sense. Looking forward to checking out his copy. Yeah, Kenny pretty much has it right that... Where'd you place that one? There? All right.
Another deuce. Oh, and another 4.
All right. Kenny says fighting to make sure that nobody else got anything done, or at least doesn't get a leg up. Yes, that is true.
We're practicing for modern
Good,
day
Eric. Glad to hear
Congress.
it. He says, having just read the rule book, this is helping make sense of it.
Good.
Which, I mean, ultimately, that's what we're trying to do here, is by thinking out loud and worrying less about strategy and more about walking you all through how the mechanics of this work and what we're thinking about it. It helps for when you do go read the rule book to then come back and it makes sense having seen it or vice versa.
Now, strategy-wise, I don't know if I cut too close to the bone by doing that, if I cut off my own nose, just to spite y'all, but we'll see, I guess.
So I know how, okay, so this is going to kind of ruin your plan, I apologize. But, so Amanda's trying to she doesn't mind putting out a 0 opium out here because she's trying to end the game in round 2, because if those 3 come out, those 3 dice empty, the dice pool's empty, immediately the game ends. Who has the most enterprises? She has a merchant, which she cannot place, but she's going to have 2 out on the board. Oh, actually, you know what? Ties are broken so Amanda wouldn't win in this case because Mike would have to, Mike has a special envoy, so he can put a second. But what I was going to say is if people pass, can't place those because it costs
Can't
too
afford
much.
to.
Oh, boy. All right, well. Three, 5, 6, 4. Ash. I'm good with that.
Yep.
I'll go ahead and play. So there is opportunity because there's 4s and a 4 out here. So I am not industry leader, but Amanda's already placed hers. Nobody else. Ash can take one. He can't.
You can't pay
He
for
can't pay for the opium, so I don't need to worry about it. So, getting me to 3, 1, 2. Actually, do I do 2 or 3? You know what? I will do 3. So we're at 6 here. So there's that accounted for. Whoever places a ship here, 4 or less, we're good, and that'll complete it.
And now my turn.
And now your turn.
All right, so I have a special envoy. I could put this merchant out here. However, what we need to complete the supply chain is the smuggler.
Correct.
Which, if I place out here first, Ash can block that and place it elsewhere.
You bet.
So, I'm going to place the smuggler out here first.
All right.
So be it.
So by doing that, though, you place a die.
All right. Let's shut that one the hell down.
We have words for people like you, Mike. I won't say them.
Shrewd.
Wow, this game right here.
Oh, look at that!
This is playing out completely different than every other game that we have played so far of this.
Opportunity knocks.
Well, I believe that you've given me only one choice.
Amanda did not.
I believe you have given me only one choice.
All
and
right.
that's to pass.
Oh, no, that's actually not your only choice, but okay.
It doesn't benefit me to end the game or to send China into revolution because I don't even have my investment on the board.
So here's the point at which do I just let him go with that, or do I point something out?
Point it out?
Well,
Oh.
Hey, we're doing live stream. We're supposed to be thinking out loud.
Point it out.
Yeah,
All
if I'm not seeing it, please.
Okay, so you can, Amanda's not the fleet leader. You can undercut her because he still has his merchant, and he would do that then. So it behooves you to do so because you're going to get income out of that.
Yeah.
Now, the other question here, though, that I'm wondering is the highest you can make your fleet is 3, which doesn't give you another investment.
Right.
However, Mike's going to place here. You know he's going to.
Yeah.
So that's up to you.
Let's see how that plays out.
Okay, so he undercut Amanda. So by undercutting her, she loses nothing because A, she's pegged out, but it's not a completed supply chain. It was a lower number than what Amanda's was, so good to go. Amanda, you're
Okay,
up.
so there is opportunity.
There is opportunity because the
So
5 and the 5.
I can place my merchant
No,
even though I do
no.
not.
So fleets and opium depend on opportunity. Merchants, it's either open or closed.
Depend on
So right here, merchants, if it's open region,
Okay.
you can place him.
Then I have to have a special envoy otherwise.
If it's closed,
Okay.
which it is, exactly. Yep. All right, take care, Matt. Thanks for sticking with us. Appreciate the patience. Yep, and Todd's got it right. Get your investments on the board if you think the
Yeah.
country might collapse. Because ultimately, that's what wins you the game.
Right now, Amanda is incented to pass to make
Here,
that
I'll explain
impossible.
it. Go ahead. Yeah. So Ben says, if someone's played, can you re-explain the significance of what's on the secret prize tokens, other than the numbers? It's just the numbers. It's just flavor text. It's what it is, whatever. So the number is what matters. So you can see here. Oop, let me bring that over. There you go. Mike has a 3. If the game ends at the end of the 4th round and the country is not collapsed via all the dice being out of there, then whoever has the most points, meaning this 3 plus any other prizes he has, plus if he's 2 points for each industry leader that he is, whoever has the highest points wins. However, if all the dice leave the dice pool, none of that
thought you might
matters,
do that.
and it's
There you
just
go.
the industry leader out on the board, or just the quantity of your enterprises that are on the board. Nothing else matters. The points don't matter. Industry leader doesn't matter. So there's 2 different ways the game ends, and how it ends dictates whether points matter or quantity of enterprises on the board matters. So hopefully that makes sense.
I undercut
saw.
Ash.
I figured that was going to happen.
Me too.
But you're at least making sure she's not making so much money.
Right.
You can't undercut her again.
No. I can't be undercut in either spot.
Because they're bottomed out. Her opium's at 0 and her ship's at 1, but she's just trying to get a completed supply chain. That sucks having that tied up. Maybe, yeah, because there's no opportunity.
Right.
Nor will there be after this supply chain completes.
Because the 5 will go out because it's the lowest one. Zuteler. All right, so it's at 3. All right, so you're going to place
I'm going to put the 2 out
the
there.
2. And you could get up to 0 then. Amanda would get 1. She can't even put out a scion, whereas I can right now.
You can place a 0.
I
as
can
well.
place a 0 if I bottom it out. Is that important? That means I would get the highest prize. They're not all going to be negative. Is that smarter than keeping my investments higher? Because if I do that, I can't invest in opium and I can't invest in ships. Oh, boy. Who did this to us?
Coal.
Well played. Well played.
Yeah, that was quick.
Wow, dude, this is so different than every
Yeah,
other
this is a tough
game.
one.
Game has been completely different dynamics.
Fantastic.
It's like playing 3D chess because
So what? Okay, so what do I do? Okay, that's points, but the points won't matter if the revolt happens. So do I save this to where I can invest in opium and become the opium leader to where I can't be undersold? Somebody's going to invest in ships. Yeah, because you two will have income. So I don't think I can take the risk on sending my scion. But if I don't, then what do? I could... Ash is losing right now. No. Mike is. We're all. Amanda's winning right now, right?
Yes.
So I can put the pressure on you guys to pass.
And force her
And-
to.
Or
Yeah.
no, force one of you two to pass.
Yeah.
Because she. No, but you're going to give her income.
Yep.
I pass. I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Stupid game. Not really. It's a compliment in our group.
You throw the controller.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's exactly it.
I would, or flip the table if you weren't worried about a massive hernia.
You know what? Someone's going to.
Yeah, someone's
going to do that. So I'm gonna bottom out. Wait, I have not taken. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a
You
minute.
haven't
Wait a
taken
minute.
your
Wait a minute.
investment.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
I forgot about that, didn't I? I will take my investment. Well, if I do, okay. So thinking out loud, if I take the investment and bring in a merchant, it forces Mike to pass. It forces Mike to pass because if he does not pass, then Amanda wins the game.
Oh,
No, because you would
I
place
put-
a second one out there. So maybe not. No, I will take my investment. That's it. All
There you
right,
go.
done. You see what I'm thinking,
I do,
right?
yeah.
Because then you two, to be able to place that. So, whoo, you know that I know that you know that I know.
I am going to use the special envoy to place merchant here to complete the supply chain. 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, less than 11,
Right.
completes.
So this, then the lowest die goes back over there.
Two
Get your
income,
income,
one
or your
income.
revenue. Amanda got hers.
Die, done.
For every smuggler in the, oh right, we removed it for the smuggler that's in the chain.
Did you get your?
I did.
Yep.
Okay.
Ash, you're up.
And I love how easy it is to track the game state because you can see here a smuggler in an incomplete chain. There's one unengaged black piece. There's one die there. The end.
That's a good point. Yep.
So I'm actually going to take an investment in a merchant.
So just out loud here, right now, what happens? So each of Amanda and I have one piece on the board.
No, two pieces.
Two pieces.
Each have two.
You have two here.
I'm sorry.
Amanda
We have two.
has two. So if it were to end,
But it can't.
But
We
it can't
cannot
anymore
now.
because
Can't
there's
anymore.
more
Completed
dice
the
pool than there
supply
are
chain.
black
fair
pieces in the
point. There
conspiracy.
you go.
Can't anymore.
Also, Todd was mentioning that Nicole offered a variant to where you make sure that there's at least one police action in every round
Huh.
if you want to.
Nice.
So you precede it with one.
Interesting.
So again, there's flexibility here.
Cool.
Oh, hey Matt.
I'm gonna pass.
We desperately missed you at the beginning.
Yeah.
Glad you're having a good time on vacation, man. Let's see. Thomas says, I want this game. Well, I guess our job is not to sell copies. Our job is to present them and let you guys make your informed decisions based on that, plus our reviews and whatever. So either if it helps you decide one way or the other, that helps us, it helps you, and it helps the publisher. Even if it's a non-sale, for the simple fact that we kept you from buying a game that you might not like and souring on the designer and or the publisher. So it's a win-win
Yeah.
for everybody. At least that's how we think of it.
Yep.
So awesome. Glad to hear that, Thomas.
I passed.
Thomas, you and me both.
So you
I
passed.
paid one and passed.
Oh, no, ma'am.
Oh no, it'd be
No,
0,
ma'am.
right? Wouldn't it?
No.
Oh no, I can't send them at all.
You are correct. So do you want to move that back up? There you go.
Okay.
So I can, but I would have to use all of my revenue, and I'm back where I was. So there's still no open. I cannot take a second investment to get a special envoy to then be able to place my merchant. This is a completed supply chain.
Mm-hmm.
You passed, didn't you?
Yes.
All right, never mind. Because if I take either of the conspiracies, it costs the revenue, and I don't want to do that. I already have that out there. I am going to pass, spend all my revenue, which gets me back up to 0. And that is how you send a 0 scion as a hoss.
Yeah.
Tom says it absolutely helps the publisher. I can confirm.
Oh.
He's the publisher.
Oh,
Cool. Awesome. And I'm sorry about the rough start. I feel horrible about it. Especially since it's a game, that we obviously think highly of. So appreciate the patience, y'all. Thanks for sticking with us.
I'm really sorry.
And sorry to Tom, because, it's their game, right?
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so it's my turn.
Yes, he was very. It wasn't at the soundboard. So what it was there's a setting in our software XSplit that I didn't realize that I thought the sound was going out and it wasn't. It was getting.
it was
To
the
the audio
microphone selected
interface.
was none.
Yes. So that's 100% on this guy. Matt showed us and everything, and I just stress. Sorry. But here we are. So hey, it's Friday. No one's got school tomorrow,
Yep.
right? No one's got work. We have game day tomorrow.
Driving all day, but hey.
Yeah, he's
Oh
going
no,
home.
I don't care. I want to punish you for that. So
Yeah,
Mike,
this is our last stream
Yeah.
with Mike for a
yeah,
while.
because Mike spends half his time in Iowa. Why? And half his time here. Yes. So yeah, he leaves tomorrow for the other half until HeavyCon.
Boo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Boo hiss, boo.
Boo him. Boo him.
And he was on closing day at Breck today, which looked
Yeah, he went.
amazing.
Yeah, he
Weekend.
went skiing today. Yeah, boo him.
It was.
All right. Who's up? You're
Here's
up.
Mike.
Sick. All right, so here's where I'm at. Edward has made this choice a little bit more difficult by sending the 0 scion here, right? So I can pass and send not a scion. I know what I looked at. Ash is not sending one.
I can't. I mean,
Amanda
did
is
not.
not sending one.
I
Correct.
couldn't either.
Okay,
you're
so
basically betting on there not being 2 negative ones in there.
exactly.
Actually, he doesn't mind if there is, because if this collapses, the tiebreaker is
Number of
of tokens.
Yep.
So even if it's a -1, it's still a token. That's a
Sure.
second token.
That makes it easier. I'm going to do the same thing. -2.
Brings him up
scion
to 0, and I have the tiebreaker
There we
on
go.
him now.
Pass.
So I get the second highest one.
I will pass and send no one home.
That's fantastic. They're print to order publisher. So Tom said as long as they have cubes, they're good. So he's like, we can always order more cubes. That's fine.
And that is why we have tables,
Yep.
and there's no drinks on the table.
And
ever.
lids.
Hey, and this lids too.
How's your
In her
adrenaline
defense,
level
it
doing?
wouldn't have spilled had there not been a table.
It's
there.
fine because I know that there's a table.
Stop. No, stop. All right, so
Matt
everyone
was
is
in there.
passed.
Yeah.
All
We're
right.
all passed out.
All right, so hold on. First, we go into phase 3, which I want to get the word right. Foreign and domestic affairs. So, Opium War. There is no outrage that is higher than Qing forces. Flip them. What do I get?
Can I go now?
You may. Hold on, unpause. All right, there we go.
Oh,
Yes!
so a -1. Gambling debt,
Gambling down.
You
an
know,
Oxford
it
degree,
happens. Right.
or a noble heiress.
Yeah, obviously that. Come to Papa.
All right.
There we go. All right. So
we-
right now,
We happen to know that there's 2 3s in there, right?
yeah. So all the 3s are out.
They are gone.
I believe it's 2-2, 2-2, 2-2.
the distribution is actually on the
it
wonderful
is.
play raid.
Oh, is it?
There's
okay.
2 3s, 2 2s, 3 1s, 3 0s, and 2 -1s.
Okay. So we've seen one of the -1s, so that goes out of the game. Okay, good shot. All the 3s are gone, so odds are it's going to be somewhere in the middle now.
Yep.
All right. So that's the end of the third phase. We advance the turn marker, deal 1 counter to each of the conspiracies.
Okay.
And now I'm playing for an opium war this turn.
Pretty much. Yeah, I would say so.
Which 1 police action.
There's 1. Come on, police action.
No, yeah,
There you go.
1 police action.
You have
which,
fun with that opium.
I'm going to have fun with that opium war.
Well, the game could end this turn as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we put out the prizes, and then Amanda passed first, and who passed second? Oh, I did, didn't I?
You did.
I did.
She already said it your direction.
Yeah, she's.
That's just where it
she's
landed.
she's on the ball. I would have sold it and totally bought it. So
No,
yeah.
I'm not, but I'm
Go
not
ahead,
good
choose
like
your
you
prize.
are.
Investment back to zero.
That was like the theme the other day.
We can always order more cubes. In fact, there was a discussion on, where was it today? Oh, it was actually in the infamous traffic forum. Which one did you choose?
The middle one.
Oh, hold on.
Okay, so we're all sitting flatline.
Okay. It worked well last time. Whoo! I didn't know there were 4s in this game.
Wow. Another 3?
No, it's a 4.
Oh, you're going to be going out the top. All
Two
right.
twos.
All right, Ash, you're
above
going
each
to
other.
get to choose who you...
And show the
Who I
camera
follow.
when you're done. But no, we were actually talking in the infamous traffic forum on BGG about getting European distribution and how troublesome that's been. However, they are talking about maybe hooking up like a print on demand over there
Nice.
and working out something. It's just what they were talking about.
Cool.
I don't want to intimate that it's imminent or anything like that. It was. Did we show that right?
Yeah, that's the one that Amanda saw, the middle
Cool.
one.
All right. Cool. Amanda, it is your honor. Reset your investments to 0. And we are in the penultimate or ultimate turn, as it were.
Oh, this is
We shall
delicious. This is delicious.
I am spending an investment to get a special envoy.
So I should mention, I guess, what Todd said is if someone completes that chain with a ship, then sends 2 dice back because there are
That's
2
right.
smugglers and will prevent a collapse.
Right.
So he doesn't win. You should do that, ship boy, cabin boy.
As soon as there's opportunity.
All right, cool. All right, so I can't now. I'm pegged out, so the only thing I could do is merchant or special envoy. I can't believe we have no industry. This is so different than every other game we've played. So Amanda, how many merchants do you have total?
1.
Everyone tied at 1. Nobody has more than 1. Correct?
I have 1.
One merchant.
Okay.
So I have a bought peerage and an Oxford degree.
I have
It's
a
even
fancy
more
hat.
obnoxious. She's at least fashionable.
So if
I built a summer estate. It probably doesn't look as good as
My hat.
the hat. It's a really bad estate, but it doesn't look as good as a hat.
That's true.
I'm clearly doing something wrong.
And you're an architect. Too.
You know, I didn't learn that kind of architecture.
Gotcha.
I wanted to.
and
Just make it work, man.
I'm gonna
Ship's
put
going there. There you go.
there. The reason I'm placing here is I'm a part of what I think will be a completed supply chain. Ergo, oh wait,
That's the thing. I can't figure out how to get opportunity there.
wait a minute. Let me back that up. Hold on. Let me back that up. I know how we get opportunity there, right? Because, oh well, undercutting won't change it, will it?
No.
How do we?
I know how. No, that doesn't work either. There's only one police action. Because the way to get it back is to get a... Oh, no, it does work. Conduct a police action here in
No,
Chechen.
here.
Well, why not there?
Because I'm not there. Why would I care to help that area?
You're not helping it.
Oh,
This has a
removing
2. It removes the die, it removes
Yeah,
the
yeah,
lowest
yeah,
die,
sure, yeah,
and
yeah.
creates the opportunity.
All right.
And you're
So-
not going to undercut your own region.
Right. So police action.
Yep.
There you go. And then one of the dice goes back.
And one of the black tokens
And
is removed.
right. Yeah, I don't want to help that. So we will kill the smuggler, and we will remove the 2. There's
There we
no
go.
demand. Mike, it is your honor, sir.
Opportunity.
So, thinking out loud here, I would like to have a British flag, but nobody's taken the British flags. On the other hand, if I put...
We appreciate the
Yeah.
incentive, Kenny, and
Yeah.
Yuan. Sounds
Yeah.
cool.
That's the right one. I get a British flag and I put a die out, which
And
is
that
going to
doesn't
be
really
this
Oh.
2 to destroy the opportunity.
That was going to happen if you didn't do it. I was going to do it.
Oh, I mean,
Well,
I
he
was
going to
yeah, I was
complete it
sending
right
it
That's
then,
true,
so
that's
it
true.
wasn't getting to you.
That's true.
So,
Well, that sucks, Mike.
Why are you pointing at lower price?
there we are.
You needed to roll that die.
Oh,
Yeah, you don't just place, sir.
Oh.
As we said, you don't just place.
you
I
roll
swear-
and
Roll
place
and
the
then
same
place,
die.
I
right.
swear
yeah.
all of our rolls, almost
they
all of our
have.
rolls have been the same.
Are they weighted
Um,
dice, Tom?
Are they? I'm
Here,
not,
I'll say
yeah.
it for you. That sucks.
yeah, that sucks. We have words for people like you.
So I think in my big matrix of games versus mechanics, there needs to be the take that, and this game, that needs to be the primary mechanic.
Tune to 11.
So, okay, so one thing that Tony brought up, because he wasn't a super big fan of this when he played it. Now, I believe they got one significant rule wrong that when, I think, don't quote me, but when they broke a supply chain, they didn't go back to their holdings. It actually went back to
Right.
their supply.
Yeah, that's a problem.
So obviously that's a major, and that's why it's part of the reason we play a game so many times before we review it. Because I'll be honest, we screw stuff up often the first or second play of a game. So yeah, so that's why we try not to stream them until we get them right too. That said, the tit for tat and the take that and there is a big timing mechanism here of making sure when to take your shot
Yes.
at it.
Yes.
And we are doing a very good job, partially because we're thinking out loud and people can hear what it is we're thinking about. So we're able to negate what the other people are trying to do. But you can imagine if we're not doing that, how, ignore the man behind the curtain type stuff, don't do, yes, he didn't do that, or she didn't do
yeah.
that, or whatever, that type thing.
See, that's the thing. I'm having trouble seeing how I turn this back to my favor.
You wait until turn 4. You plan for other things in the meantime.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
No, yeah.
There might be something I'm missing, but that's
the
my
thing.
opinion.
I'm having trouble seeing what to do. I don't want to give him more power with the opium war. Everybody's tapped out with money, which almost makes me think I don't want to put out more Qing forces. Or do I?
Qing forces protect bureaucrats and
And prevent the opium war. But that's the thing. I'm not.
Fair point. Oh, one other point to make. So you notice the tracks go up to 10. These are not limited to 10. They can go higher. We're actually going to just put a little plus 10 mark on the counters for that. So yeah, hopefully.
Oh, like on one side.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. The brutal sense of hopelessness. We enjoy this type of stuff. Again, we're all closet, or maybe less than maybe not closet.
Broadcast live on YouTube.
Yeah,
masochists.
masochists. Yeah, pretty much.
That's about right.
Yeah, I think that's pretty spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
I'm going to go chew rocks next. No, yeah, I'll save it for the end, but I've never had so much fun being bewildered playing a game.
Yeah, this sucks in the best way possible. See, and this is a good example of why we try. I'm stalling for Amanda, but on a serious note, this is why we try to avoid using the term fun in our reviews, because I'm sure there are going to be people that watch this that think, my God, that looks like misery. And it is, but that's what we enjoy. That's fun for us. So that's,
I placed
I
a
saw.
pirate
Sorry, go ahead.
and rolled a die, and it actually became a 3.
Which means there's demand there.
There's opportunity.
Thank you. Opportunity. I keep getting my words wrong. Good thing I don't have a podcast to talk about.
This exact thing.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm going to take my investment and make a special envoy,
There you go.
because since I have a merchant already, this allows me flexibility. I don't care about opportunity. I just can spend my special envoy to now place my homie out. The problem is, nope, there's no problem. Don't worry about it. There's no problem. I can undercut if I want.
Mm-hmm.
As can Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
Which puts her 3-1 on the board. Not that she hasn't seen this. I will say the peanut gallery is quick. Well, Ash, you could be broadcasting live from a closet.
Hey! It's a big closet.
Yeah, right.
It's a very big, well-appointed closet, as I might have in my summer estate.
Well, then
The ecstasy of despair. Exactly, Matt.
let's take my investment action and build a second merchant.
Okay.
Does that make me merchant leader?
I do believe so.
Yep.
No, he can't be undercut.
There you go. Glory to Rome, Mike. So this is how you position yourself. Exactly. I mean, this is textbook. This is really, really good play by him, or really piss poor play by the other three of us. Probably some of both. My excuse is y'all. I love having y'all as an excuse. Although I look like I have no clue what I'm doing usually during these.
And I usually look pissed, but I just have resting bitch face. I can't help it.
So, with
This is-
opportunity there, I feel the need to get my fleet out, if only to try to capitalize on something that might happen, provided Amanda produces some opium and sends it there. She can.
Can't. She can't.
It's
Oh,
already
Next
out.
turn.
Oh,
she
right,
could.
right. Oh, yeah.
And the reason she can't is she's already used her one investment. And
Right.
wow, this has been the most austere that it's ever been. Last game, I had my revenue up to 6 and 7. I was able to do 3 and 4 investments and just was crushing
Yeah,
it.
Benjamin just won a feast for opium.
It's done. It's done. Shut it
Yep,
down.
yep. That's awesome.
You just won the internet, sir. Congratulations.
So is it start? Are you guys starting to grok a little bit on what it is and where the sharp elbows that we talked about in yesterday's episode for the Golden Elephant Award finalists? Is it making sense where that is? Now understand, we're probably going to live stream this a second time in the next handful of weeks. One, because I'm irritated at the front end of the show and how rough that was, and two, to show y'all just how different the games can play out, so that this is not the only thing to where people are like, oh my God,
So
is it all?
austere.
Yeah, it's stupid austere. It's not always. The order in which the conspiracies come out makes a huge difference.
And are selected, too.
And what?
And they're selected,
Oh, the
too.
order in which.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Well,
Amanda's thinking, so she's not waiting for us. Don't worry.
Amanda and I were driving it in that direction because we might have been jockeying for government collapse, and then I'm certainly driving it in that direction too.
Well, I mean, you don't care. at
This is the
point.
closest to collapse I've seen it. I've seen, most of my games have been austere, but this is the closest to collapse I've seen it.
Yep,
And it's
same.
teetering.
It is.
Yeah,
This whole time.
they're right there.
Yep.
I'm going to use my special envoy and go here.
Placing a 0.
Nicely
She
done.
doesn't care.
Just
She doesn't want to
on
be
board.
undercut to where she just keeps that out in case it breaks.
3 on the board.
Yeah.
Yep. So now, all of a sudden, Mike switches
Yep.
because he cannot take an investment to take a special envoy to get this onto the board. Ergo, he's going to do everything in his power to make sure that the government doesn't collapse, because then Amanda wins. So,
Yeah, I couldn't-
emerging alliances switched that fast.
I could not decide, because I knew that if I took the pirateer and put it out,
It changes every time she says that. Does anybody else catch that? Go ahead.
shut up, and
With friends like these.
and took the 3
Uh-huh.
and put it out, that would remove opportunity, but it would also make Mike be able to put his special envoy out somewhere
Right.
and put more, and then we would be tied for number.
If you did what?
If I put this here,
Uh-huh. No, you can't. It
Well,
can't.
but
It's only
wherever.
it's
Wherever.
inner C.
Wherever.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
and took that 3 and put it here, that would leave Mike to be able to put his special envoy out wherever.
No, he doesn't have a special envoy.
Oh, I thought he did.
Nope, he does
I
not.
used it last turn.
I
You
have
do.
it, yes.
Okay, so anybody could go here
To undercut
to undercut
you.
me,
Right.
and then that would make it you would have 2, I would have 2, Mike would have 2.
And then Mike will win because
Right.
he has 2
Right.
prizes versus yours and my 1 respective.
So I really, that's all I could do. So it'll probably not collapse now. It's not going to collapse now, but at least I have 3 pieces out now for next turn.
I won't say that it won't, but it's unlikely because none of us want it to, because you're winning in that, and some of us have a chance, I feel like, against Mike. Even though Mike has 6 points, I have 3, 2, 1.
It's a sapphire, Benjamin.
So why do I want to put out my merchant? I don't think I do. There's no reason for me to do so because I have my special envoy.
Yeah, you
and I
prefer to
can
stay flexible.
Right. So what I could do, though, Amanda could end the game if only one person passed. But you know what? I'm going to force their hands and make them do what I want them to do, meaning they both have to pass if I take one of those.
That would be true, yes.
So I will put out the Qing force. You have 4 that would do I want that? Because I want I don't. Hold on. Let me put that back out. I will instead take this guy. And you can place a smuggler, I want to double check, make sure, in a region adjacent to. So there is, so we will place that there. I will
Which one?
take the 3. There you go. See, they're not waiting.
Wow.
All right.
So there's
So-
opportunity.
There is, but now they both have to pass or Amanda wins the game. And the reason I say that is if Mike doesn't pass, he does something. If Ash passes, Amanda still has 1
Can
income.
afford.
She can pay the 1 to take that to trigger the end of the game.
Yep.
But I'm trying to force your guys' hand while also setting myself up to get extra revenue because that ties in here.
Yep. I pass, and I will not send my color and fashion impaired scion to London.
Why don't we do this? Because it's always hard to tell who passed.
sure.
So we'll just
How
put
about
them
that?
up there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can't. Right.
I will be passing as well.
Oh, hey, looky there.
How about that?
All right. So he says it's going to. So Mike's first. Ash dictates direction. It's going to continue clockwise. Amanda, now she cannot take this because she only has 1 revenue. She needs 2 revenue to end the game. I'm so sorry.
I would make rude gestures at you, but I'm on camera full time now, so
Yes, I know.
just imagine it.
I know. I thought that was good. I thought that was well.
No, that was
well
very.
done.
That was very well done, and playing to your strengths as well.
Yeah, and it helps me here because tying those
It plugs
together.
in, yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna pass. Nothing I can do.
Okay.
Can't explain it.
Exactly.
All right, so it's to me. So I can't do that. I could now. I can't believe we're going to get no prizes. This is insane. Again, I'm in the same boat. I cannot place my merchant up here because there is no.
Because you have a special envoy.
No, I can because there's a completed one here. But if so, let me talk about that because we haven't talked about it yet. The inland supply chains can only be completed when they can connect directly to a completed supply chain on the coast.
Mm-hmm.
If they do, then just like the coastal ones, so if I were to place him out there, I would get, that's 3 in the supply chain, demand is 5, we're good to go, that would be okay. So I would get 2 income. However, I would choose any of the supply chains that are completed to then trigger. What happens in that case, and that's the reason I wanted to do it here, I would have to choose this one. This is the only completed supply chain. Every piece in here would get 1 bonus income that's permanent, meaning you will never lose it. Now, you could lose income, but you won't lose that from a broken supply chain. So in this case, Mike would get 1 income, Amanda would get 2 revenue for that.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously I'm not going to do that, but it gives an option. I could. That's why I'm trying to do this, so it helps that one.
Mm-hmm.
So I pass. This too shall pass. So we have no scions. So we can flip them over and see what we're not getting.
A bad marriage, a scandal, or a swindled.
That's fascinating right there. So now, if you've been doing the math at home, you know what those last 3 prizes are.
Yep.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so this definitely plays different 4.
Before we did that, there's no opium war.
Which I'm also fascinated by.
So we go into turn 4 and deal 1 conspiracy up.
There's not enough police action.
Come on, police actions.
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Police actions. Hello. Come on, police
Come
actions.
on.
I am amazed. There you go.
All right. So now that the game is we're
Set.
not going to add any more. Go ahead and bring those out so people
Yep.
can see.
See the distribution.
Oh, they can't see them over there. Bring them up
Oh,
along
right.
the back edge
Okay.
over here so people can see just how many. No, all right, up here.
Oh, you
They'll be
can't
able
see
to
them over there?
Nah, not so bad because
Okay.
of the windows.
Oh, right. Thanks.
There's a ton of Qing forces that weren't selected. Well, there's really not, is there?
Not
There's
as much.
There's 3 police actions that were not chosen.
I think
selected.
really it's just the drip feed. You know, they all kind of came
Yep.
steady and then petered out.
Yep, all right, get those out.
Yep.
Make sure we don't mess that up. Although, wow. Game's over, isn't it?
Yep.
It-
Good game, y'all.
Wow, Amanda wins.
Yep.
We'll go through it just to be able to show you that didn't work. I got greedy, is what happened. By me placing this, 2. Yeah, by me doing that, I cost us the game to end early. My fault. Got greedy.
And now I'm
trying
seeing
to do that.
Now I'm seeing this end condition too.
Yep. All right.
All right, so I'm a start player, and what can I do? Well, I want an opium war.
Ooh.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, there's something y'all can do.
Oh, there is. I so want to say it.
Oh yeah, no, I see it now. We'll see if I even get the chance.
Actually,
I think
Ash
I
has
see it.
Ash has a fleet.
So if I take this police action, bust up this supply chain, all
Yep.
that comes home, and then, yeah.
Oh, not what I was thinking.
Me either, but yes, that works.
That's what I said.
That does work. The other thing is if you both pass,
That's what I thought.
and you're in the catbird seat to win.
For points.
Yeah.
Okay, so follow through on that. Why would I do that?
Okay, so if you pass, and it forces Ash to pass, actually, unless
Well, he could.
he
then,
could take a police action.
Oh, I
forgot
can't
that.
afford it.
He can't.
I can't afford
He
it.
can't.
If he
Oh, because
passes,
he
I can't
passes,
afford
so
it.
he would
Has
have
to
to pass.
Yeah.
And then
Technically-
therefore, I would have to pass as well, and I would not.
Oh, we
I
should
would-
have looked at what these
Technically,
are.
we're allowed to look at those
Yeah. Go ahead, Everett.
Oh,
yeah,
first.
first player. Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh,
and show the camera too.
No, I'm not looking. I'm reading the chat. Sorry.
Oh, we trust you. I feel like we all trust all of
Yeah,
us.
I think so. Here, I got it. Oh, yeah. Can you... No, there you go.
Real friendly
There
with
you go.
Mike.
Okay. Amanda? And this is what one you looked at, Mike?
Yes.
Here, I'll look. Okay, here's Amanda's.
I think it's irrelevant because all of us are flatline and
Yeah, I do too, but...
we won't be able to send a scion anyway.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
yeah, so if
So
I
go
pass-
ahead and play through it if you want, like in your head,
So
talk it out loud.
Yeah, so let me work it through. So if I play the police action, I can bust this up and
So
cause,
walk through. So he would replace that would go away.
correct.
A die would go away.
Mm-hmm.
That would come back home. Those two would come back home.
And now
Which-
Specifically, the 2 would go away.
The two.
the 2.
Oh, yeah. Which then opens this up.
Right.
So it's interesting. You open up a can of worms, whereas you're in a pretty good position right now. So do you just say to hell with it? This is fascinating,
Well,
dude.
so let's work through that. So I pass.
Uh-huh.
Ash cannot take the police action to
To
bust, that, up,
right?
and he basically has to pass, doesn't he?
No, he could get.
Yes,
could-
he has to pass because if he doesn't, Amanda can take the die.
Yeah, that's true.
'Cause
Re-
you have
really,
an
at
income.
that point, I'm choosing who wins.
Yeah,
You are.
You're key making, which seems to happen in the last round.
It can,
does.
but it doesn't necessarily. Well, we know that if you pass, you know you're out. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I passed.
Wow. I've never seen this. This is interesting to me.
Investing in a special envoy.
So he's
So-
giving me the game.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, Ash.
I do wish that we had seen what had happened if it had gone the other way, but I don't blame the game for ending this way.
Wow.
There you are.
There you go.
There we go.
The
Boom,
government
that
collapses.
moment. So yeah,
Who
the game
wins?
ends right there. Whoever has the most markers on the board wins. Amanda has 1, 2, 3. Mike has 1, 2. I have 1. And
0
Ash,
stones.
Thank you for playing. Wow.
Yeah.
That's so different
it's-
than everything
It's
else.
little interlocking cogs
This is
all
amazing.
It
over
is.
the place.
So
And
all
we're
right.
all spinning them all at once.
yes.
Wow. All right. So here, let's bring it around here, and give me 1 sec here, guys. All right. So, how many times have each of y'all played it? Let's start there.
This is my 3rd play.
Okay.
Third play.
Second.
Third play as well for me. Thoughts, just of this game specifically, meaning this tonight's game, and then overall. So we'll take it one at a time. So
Of all of my games, I've never been even close to winning
no.
any of them,
This one specific tonight,
including this one.
Okay.
And to my way of thinking, I think that I don't know if I had better options, but there again is the opacity. And after 3 plays, that did I cut too close to the bone in the first round, and is that what sunk me for the rest of the game? Probably. And oh well. And it's just a question of seeing the interlocking things and seeing the unintended consequences of
Right.
what you choose to do.
Which is exactly what we described
Yeah.
at the very beginning, right?
Yeah, this is my second play, and I don't know why, but this game just clicks with me.
It does.
Yeah, you saw every move that I should have been making way before I saw.
Yeah,
it.
and
Yep, totally.
I never do that.
No,
with
that's
games.
not true. More often than not, Amanda struggles the first time
But
or
no,
two.
what I'm saying is that I never see what other players should do before they do it, ever, in any game, ever. I don't know why I do with this. Maybe I was an opium trafficker in a previous life. I don't know. But this game's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's just, there's, like Ash was saying, there's so many interlocking things that, when the very first round or the second round comes to bite you in the butt in the fourth or fifth, and you're like, wait, or the fourth, wait, what happened? Wait,
Yeah.
what? It's incredible.
So I suppose you could make an argument that it's like chess in that the choices have deep consequences, right?
It's ramifications that go forever.
I suppose you could make an argument that it's chaotic given how quickly the state changes, who has the initiative.
But chaotic in that players control it outside of the order in which the conspiracies, or not the order, but what conspiracy is available, as well as the prizes, and you only
Right.
know a third of the information. But
Right.
it feels appropriate to me. I know there are some people that don't like the hidden nature, the incomplete information. Again, used to be a professional poker player. I'm okay with that.
hidden.
Yeah.
And you guys heard it at home when we were talking about, okay, so Mike and Edward both put scions up and spent at least some to go for it. And we knew that you and I looked, so that they knew what we looked at was good. Ash then acted after you, and he went high.
I had seen the 2.
And
so
Amanda
yeah.
had seen what the 3 is. She knows that those 2 probably don't suck, so
I'm okay
she's
with it,
okay
yeah.
with going third, even though she knows she's going to sacrifice the bigger prize, and left herself some wiggle room, whereas you had tapped out.
I'm surprised you gambled that much on
Badass.
a 1. But yeah.
Yeah, he was
That
betting
was-
on the come.
That
Yeah.
was
Yep.
speculation.
Yep. I love this game. I hate it in a good way. It's frustrating. But you saw that by me getting greedy, by doing that, I took a risk. I didn't think about it until, when those came out, and I was like, I'm an idiot for doing that. But it's death of 1,000 cuts, and you can absolutely do it to yourself. But it's in the player's control.
Yeah.
More often than not, there is the randomness of the way the conspiracies come out and the order in which those come out, just, whether it comes out early, late, whatever. There's a reason it's Golden Elephant
Yeah.
Award finalist, right?
Yeah.
I will say this, counterpoint now. So, 5 players. I don't think we're super keen on it, 5 players. And I don't want to speak for everybody here, but what we have found with our group, now, take that with a grain of salt. But with that said, you only play 3 rounds in a 5-player game, and one of the ports is open to begin the game. However, we have found that because there's only 3 prizes in a 5-player game, it's kind of a foregone conclusion more often than it's not in the 3rd round, the final round, that the game's kind of decided in the first 2 rounds, so the 3rd round kind of feels a bit superfluous. That's in a 5-player game. That didn't seem to be the case with the 4 at all. And I
No.
don't think it's going to be the case in a 3. I know there's some discussion on BGG about, okay, in the first round, because shipping is stronger than opium because it can't be turned down to a 0, which is stronger than a merchant. In the first round, if the first 2 players, one goes shipping, one goes opium, the 3rd player kind of is battling whatever one of the other 2, and the other player kind of gets away, at least for that initial So there's an advantage there. We have not played it 3-player yet, but so 4-player feels like the ideal play count so far.
So far, yeah.
Better than 5, I'd agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. And I love that this game has played out vastly, not
Oh,
just
so
a
differently.
little bit different,
Completely
but vastly different every game.
Yep.
So I don't care what happened last game. I can't use that strategy, even though it's a static setup.
And
That-
similar players too. I mean, playing the game over again with the same people and having such a wide variety of possible outcomes is fascinating to me.
It really is.
It's not just, it's a warmonger in one corner that we didn't have last time. Like, no, I was here and I, cut off my own nose last game
Right.
too.
Yep. And it played out similarly for
Yes,
you.
it did.
All right, so Peanut Gallery, what do we got? What? Wow, nothing really? Nothing? Seriously? All right. Well, then I guess that's it. Thank you for being patient.
Yeah.
For y'all that are watching this after the fact, like tomorrow, you'll see the edited version, so you won't see all the issues at the front end. So we'll act like that never happened.
Too late.
But anyway, thank you everybody for. Oh wait, there is something tied. Thanks for the playthrough. This is the only one of the Golden Elephant nominees I played, but I like this game more every time I play.
Yeah.
I would agree, especially every time we play it, I like it more. So
Yep.
cool. So thanks everybody for watching. If you liked it, subscribe. Seriously, subscribe to the channel if you think it's worth it. And also, this right here, that was 138 last video. That is, this studio, all of this doesn't happen without our patrons over on patreon.com. 138, it's actually 144. We didn't have a second 4. Anyway, if you want to support the show, we would appreciate it. Patreon.com/Heavy Cardboard. If you're interested in the podcast, go to heavycardboard.com.
Everything can be found there.
Yep. Anything else?
Nope.
No? All right, awesome. And Tom, the publisher, thanks a lot for sticking around for
Yes.
this, and hopefully you enjoyed it. So yeah, and well done, Amanda.
Thank you.
Seriously.
Yes,
So,
congrats.
we get 1 minute of ridicule of Ash, and that's it, right? Isn't that the
Yeah,
rule,
that's
right?
the rule.
You get 1 minute to just ride your ass because you finished in last.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I think that's how this works. Okay, ready, go.
All right, cool. All right, thanks, y'all. Really appreciate it. And Sunday, we're going to live stream Brass because people want to see it. So, yeah, we're going to live stream Brass. So we'll catch you all then.
All right.
Say goodnight, y'all.
If y'all are
Good
watching
night,
this
everyone.
later, look in the listings or whatever. And
Cool.
then play through.
All right, later, y'all.
Bye-bye. Good night, y'all.